Welcome back to Shaman King Anime Review. This is part 4, and this one I'm covering the final 14 episodes of the Shaman anime. Pretty much it's episodes 51 through 64. Yep, 51 to 64. And I'm also going to talk about my final thoughts on the anime. Let's talk about these final 14 episodes. Yeah, pretty much you can definitely tell if you had read the manga before you watch the series, you can tell that, yeah, they never finished adapting the manga. I'm not sure at what point they did, but they did. Yes. Well, they do have a few episodes with these spirit busters where they keep stealing shaman spirits. Several of them. And eventually, after Yo talks him out, apparently it's also that Yo's father used to work for them. Okay, that's interesting. And apparently, after seeing like something, I'm not sure really what it was, apparently he decided that this guy said, "Oh yeah, all spirits are evil, even though they're not." Yeah. Though when he next returns after this episode, him and his associates are killed by Zeke. Yeah, they are killed. Normally, a 4 kids dub would edit it. Normally, 4 kids edit this out, but nope, they kept it in. Surprisingly, yep. Which I was a little surprised about that. And mostly put these final 14 episodes just, well, it's mostly a bunch of filler stuff. Okay, you have the Ghostbuster stuff, which is technically what it is. We have, let's see. You have kind of a two-parter where you have Yo's team fight an opponent, burn them, and then the Lily Five, after being absent for almost the entire tournament, finally get a match, and again it's against Zeke. And basically, Yo first tries to convince Zeke to go easy on him. He says no, and then Yo just basically tells them to give up, and pretty much kind of forcing them to give up the Fornyoku, and that's basically their spirit energy. And they have to forfeit the match to Zeke, and he's slightly annoyed, and according to Anna, that they might become a minor footnote in defeating Zeke by forfeit, just by annoying him. Yep. Let's see. And then we have like the next 3 episodes deal with the whole Gate of Babylon stuff. Yeah, this thing has been building up for a good 20 episodes, and in my honest opinion, this whole Gate of Babylon subplot was a waste of time. Because we see it briefly of what the heck this Gate of Babylon is, see it open up, what's in the other side, and nothing is done with it at all. It's almost like the animators got cold feet with this subplot. Yeah, this subplot, which has been building up since the debut of the Exiles in the anime, was a complete waste of time. Yeah, they sent everybody up there, supposed to sail it up. Nope. Didn't last long. That lasted for a good 5 minutes. Yeah. So pretty much, if you watch the series, never watched the anime, and never read the manga, anyone will agree that the Gate of Babylon stuff was simply put a waste of time. And and Jean's guardian spirit gets destroyed by the Spirit of Flame. And then pretty much after the subplot wraps up, she does virtually nothing for the rest of the series. She just stands around, does nothing. At one point in the series, she stops wearing her outfit that she wears, the nice little dress, little nightgownish, and she just wears like a traditional lady's dress. And also, Marco stops wearing his X-Laws uniform. For some reason, it's never explained why. Oh yeah, because they failed to beat Zeke, so maybe they disbanded the X-Laws? I don't know. The whole X-Laws thing, it's like they made the X-Laws really unsympathetic in the anime. They made them very bloodthirsty, and they're willing to kill anybody who's even slightly associated with Zeke. Which, to me, is really dumb. I would have gone with the manga route when it comes to this particular group, but no, the animators decided to make them unsympathetic, bloodthirsty, and kill anybody. Heck, They even try to kill the main characters several times in the whole series. Do they get punished for this? Do they get like the and Gene? And no offense to the dub actors, they're fine. It's just that the writing for the X-Laws was really bad. Yeah, because after watching these episodes, it's like, okay, they suffer a loss. So, and also, Leitsner is kicked out of the X-Laws like twice, but still associated with them for some reason. Yeah, not sure why, but okay, fine. So, yeah, and also when you watch this thing, it's like I've got to point this out that when it comes to the guy who voices Marco, which is, excuse me, the sub actor's name is Eric Stewart, who is known for playing Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Half the time, if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Prior to watching Shaman King, you kind of expect this guy to summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon any minute now, because it's the same exact voice actor. At least in the case of Veronica Taylor, whenever she voiced any of the two characters, she's not saying, Pikachu, I choose you, because she's voicing women, not a little boy. Yeah, but that's what it seems to me whenever. Oh, I gotta point this out though. Silva is voiced by the same guy who voiced Atem from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, the guy who was originally Yamayugi throughout most of the entire series up until the final season. Yeah, the guy who did his dub voices Silva. He was an interesting character, and they even had him basically pretty much be an observer a lot of the time, and yeah. They tried the whole grain of rice thing, which that proved to be a waste of time. It was interesting. It was a nice little idea. Also, in episode 51, basically, they bring back, I think it's, what's the name of this guy? It's Musuke. Yeah, he's trapped in Manta's laptop. He's trapped in Morty's laptop, and he's there from episode 51 up until like pretty much the final episode of the series. Does he get out? Well, he kind of briefly possesses Morty for some reason. I have no idea why. Just that, well, he does. After the whole X-Law's plot, simply put, wraps up, Yo, simply put, tries to take up the Shaman Council, fails, and they even try to, well, and have the next few episodes simply just follow him into the another dimension. Fight, and they pretty much fight him there pretty much the rest of the series up until the final episode. One of my favorite things about the anime only teams is that they actually do some fighting in the series during these fun episodes, like the Lily 5, Team Ice, and Team Spartacus. Yeah, I'm glad the fact these guys got a chance to do some fighting during the fun episodes of the series. I kind of wish they were involved with the main fight, but yeah. And there's at one point where Yo dies, and everybody is like I kind of expected Anna to say, "Get 'em, boys." Kind of like how Master Roshi said that very line in Battle of Gods. I was kind of expecting her to say that, but nope, she didn't say that at all. Yeah, well, let's see. Oh yeah, Tamara, I think her name is, the girl with the pink hair, and Pukta, Trey's sister. Yeah, they become, simply put, side characters. They don't give all the plot, they just stay in the sidelines the whole time. I kind of get the reason why, because, well, these two are not shot. Well, in the case of Tamara, she has some mystical abilities. She could at least be some help. But Pika, I can kind of see why she had to stay behind. But you could bring along the Vision Girl with you. Yeah. As for way that they got rid of him, well, it's a decent way to get rid of him. Just like, just have everybody basically kind of do what they did over in DBZ with the Spirit Bomb type of thing. Like, everybody's spirit goes to Yo, from a giant Amuchimaro, and defeats him. Excuse me. Of course, he defeats him in the first 5 minutes of the final episode of the series. Yeah, so the main villain is taken out that way. Though, I think the way it got taken in the manga is probably a little bit better. Yeah, where Anna summoned up his late mother and have him sort of just give up the whole thing, basically reprimands him, and gives up and decided to retire. It was a nice, easy ending for how they got rid of manga. The anime is just like, okay, let's just give you a power up in like the final couple episodes of the series for no reason, just because he's the main character. Kill Zeke, and then have everybody go back to their regular lives. Oh yeah, because the whole thing with the Great Shaman can be cut off, the tournament gets suspended. And then it goes back to normal lives. And of course the hotel, so I kind of have a theory of how Yo and Anna are able to afford this place because of Yo's family. Yes, because the fact he comes from a clan. And my guess is he's probably rich, and that's probably what they're living off of, basically Yo's family money. That's just my personal theory when it comes to that. And then, like, okay, it's like after I was like, everyone's like getting bored with their normal lives, and then all of a sudden the tournament gets restarted, and that's how the series ends. So, I kind of get the reason why while watching the anime, I kind of get the reason why that the anime ended. Because it is sort of a bummer ending of a series. It's not a terrible series, mind you. It's a great series. That's the thing about Shaman King. It's a great series. It just kind of had a weak ending. Yeah, that's the thing of it. This is probably the third series in a row where it has a weak ending to the series I've watched. First it's Toriko, and then it's Soul Eater, then it's this one. But this one didn't bother me as much as the way with Soul Eater. Yeah, with Soul Eater, it's okay, the main villain's defeated by having Mako, one of the main characters, just give him a big right hook to the face. And he blows up. This one, it's like, Yo gets a power-up and slices Zeke in half. Okay. I wasn't shocked by this. I had no reactions. It wasn't like a shocking thing. It just comes completely out of nowhere. It's like, oh, let's just have hope. Okay, have hope. And simply put, give him a Spirit Bomb style power-up. And just have him feed the main villain that way. So, yeah, a weak ending to a really good series. So, I do believe definitely the series deserves a remake. And overall, like let's say, it's a great series. And what would I do for a remake? Well, I mean, the creator has said the only way he'll allow a remake to happen is if the studio gets the original subcast and get the soundtrack from the original soundtrack for the series. He actually turned down the first studio that actually offered that because they couldn't get the two things he wanted. My guess is he probably wanted those two things, and because, well, it had a weak ending to it, so let's do a remake. But if I was doing it now, if the only thing I would like to see in a remake, aside from the fact following from the manga, I would definitely keep the Lily 5 because they're great characters. Though I would have the characters slightly altered a bit, like I would keep all the personalities pretty much intact that were portrayed in this series. But I would also have Sharona develop an attraction to Ryu. I mean, yeah, he probably is turned on by his gentleman charms. Because think what Ryu is, despite the fact he's very chivalrous, and one thing I gotta praise about this character, despite his whole trying to woo almost every woman he meets, with the exception of Anna, he knows that she's off limits. Doesn't matter what the age the girl is, tries to woo her. At least he's not a pervert. Unlike some other characters I've seen. That's one thing I gotta praise about Ryu. He's one of my favorite characters of the whole series. Overall, if you gotta say who's my favorite male character series, it's Ryu. Because he's actually one of those few characters who gets a good amount of character development over the course of the entire series. And it's one thing also great about him is his 70s attire. I mean, you have the disco off, which probably is a nod to Saturday Night Fever, and then his battle attire be a nod to like something like Black Dynamite, something nod to blaxploitation action movies. Despite the fact he speaks with a Hispanic accent, I think it's great the fact you have a character who loves the 70s. Despite the fact he never mentions the 70s the entire series. Oh, and also his gang mysteriously disappears after like the first well, it seems like right after his guardian spirit shows up, his gang completely disappears from the series. And in the anime, there is no real reason for this at all. Yeah, this is something that really is kind of a bummer for the series. Interesting characters, Ryu's gang, and then all of a sudden, like, right after he became a shaman, he just, it's like this character completely disappeared from the series without any explanation at all. Though, one thing I also appreciate about Lily 5 they did in this series, though, is that the youngest member, Lily, apparently she decided to develop she decided to have a crush on Leisner. Yep, this little girl had a crush on Leisner. Now Leisner is supposed to be 12 years old. This little girl, I'm not sure exactly how old she is. She could be 10. My guess is probably 10, but because of the fact you have a series and sort of like a cliffhanger per se, we don't know what's going to happen next. And my personal guess is the reason why the series ended the way it did is probably because it was losing ratings. That's probably the theory. That's my theory. The reason why that the series ended. Also, Faust died in the manga, like in the anime where he managed to survive at the end. I would kind of change it where he actually does survive instead of dying, because I actually kind of found him in this anime to be a pretty interesting character. And despite the fact he wasn't featured very much, he did get a good amount of character development. But if you want to say out of all the supporting characters of the entire series, who got the highest amount of character development, it's probably Ryu, Trey, and Lin. These three got the highest amount of character development the entire series. Leisner seemed like half the time he gets some development, then he doesn't. It tends to flop back and forth if he tends to progress his character. It seems like once he joined the X-Laws, the way it looks from the anime perspective, it looks like his character development just halted for several episodes before finally resumed. As for Jocko, this guy got, I would say he wouldn't got much character development per se. Oh yeah, and apparently like 2 women actually laugh at his jokes. Yeah, the only people who actually laugh at his jokes are Yo, Patia, and Tamari. Yeah, these three people are the only people to laugh at his jokes. And this is something I thought was really weird. I would have thought maybe Jocko might have developed an attraction. Maybe, well, I guess maybe not Tamari because, well, she's attracted to Yo. Maybe Paktua, because in the manga it's like nothing much happened to her except for Hishi and her brother started a farm, which they did do in the anime. And that's all he really does between like when summertime is suspended. As for Yo, Anna, and Morty, they go back to school. Ryu is back on the road. Lin just does nothing. Yeah, he does nothing at all. Though his sister June changes dresses. Though, watching the series, as for, well, June being one of the very few, like, looks like one of the very few adult women in the whole series. And I know that Ryu tried to woo her, but it didn't go anywhere at all. Yeah, oh yeah, and there's also this one episode where they face off against a child priest and this little girl priest, and Ryu tries to woo her as well. Yeah, this is a very strange little subplot, the whole series, where he woos any woman he comes across. And I mean any woman. It's very bizarre, but it's funny. I found it to be one of the most entertaining things about Ryu, the fact he tries to woo almost every woman he comes across. I mean, yeah, the guy is a ladies' man, but at least he's a gentleman about it. He actually treats these ladies with a good amount of respect. Unlike, let's say, well, I can't say, now there was this one little, couple chapters in the manga I really want to see in the anime, but the anime didn't do this, of him like getting separated from the group and wanders into this park and meets up with this female park ranger who's very protective of his bear. And apparently Trey's village worships bears as gods and offers him sake. Though the bear gets killed, he of course takes to the poachers. And it's a really cool subplot, really cool side story for the manga, and yet it never makes the anime. But as for where the anime deviates the manga, I have honestly no idea. Excuse me, maybe someone could do a little research and find out exactly when this happened. I would like to know. But otherwise, though, great anime. I just kind of wish it went in this bummer ending. It's a bit of a disappointment. Kind of like with Toriko was kind of the same thing as well. But I was more mad with the ending of Soul Eater than I was with Toriko on this one. So yeah. So that's it for part 4. Stay tuned for part 5. Probably won't be tonight per se because of the time wise. It will probably be on Friday when part 5 will be when I'll talk about Soul Eater. Not Soul Eater. Shaman King Flowers, which is the sequel manga to Shaman King, and Shaman King Zero, which is the prequel manga. I'll talk about those two in part 5 in a couple of days. The next video I'm going to do, which is probably going to be in a few minutes, is going to be my review of the newest chapter, Tokyo Re, which I think just came out just today. Yeah, so I'll read that and I'll give my thoughts on it soon. Okay, but until we see you in the next video, bye.